You're tuned into the Cortez Hustle Show. Please like and subscribe.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, the one and only financial health mentor, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur from Monetize My Life Mastermind.com. That's right, your boy has kicked off a mastermind that's going down this month and every month to help you monetize your life. Some of you guys know I wrote a book called Monetize My Life, 4 incredibly simple ways to profit from your passion with little to no startup costs. And some of you guys are asking, well, Cortez, how can you help me do that? Right? And the way I can help you do that is if you join the mastermind. For $27 per month, you get 1 course every month on digital marketing. You get 1 group coaching session, 2 hours of me pouring into you on a specific strategy that I feel can help you take your business to the next level, and 1 one-on-one coaching session with me so we can apply those things specifically to your business. If you would like to be considered as one of the founding members of this mastermind, and I need you to comment the word mastermind. I'll give you a call later today and we'll talk about whether or not the mastermind is a good fit for you. Couple announcements before we get started. Man, listen, if you want to get your brand in front of 100,000 people potentially, then you might want to consider being a sponsor of the Cortez Hustle Show. All you got to do is drop sponsor, and I will reach out to you and talk a little bit about some of the opportunities that you have to sponsor the show. But I am super excited with where we're going with the show in 2021. Some of you guys realize that we are now 5 days a week, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. Wake up with your boy and let me help you take your hustle to the next level. So really quickly, man, I want you guys to really weigh in on this question of the day. Today's question of the day is, are entrepreneurs born or are they created? Question of the day, are entrepreneurs born or are they created? I'm gonna give you my thoughts at the end of the show, but I want you guys to weigh in. And here's what I want you guys to get used to doing. When you answer the question of the day, I need you to put in QOTD, right? If you put QOTD, that lets me know that your response is specific to the question of the day. And those of you who answer the question of the day, you guys get entered into a drawing to win some cool stuff. So, question of the day for today, are entrepreneurs born or are they created? All right, so now what's going on? Stephen Russ says created. I'm going to give you my thoughts at the end of the show, Stephen. Let's see, Janelle, Integrity Wealth Solutions, Credit and Wealth Building is in the building as well. Good morning, Dr. Autonomy is in the building. QOTD, but you didn't give me your answer, Israel. So what is your answer? Do you think they are born or are they created? So we've got a new segment that I'm rolling out and I'm adding to the show. And the segment is called 1 Minute Motivation. Listen, Facebook user chiming in from the group says, born. I feel like if you have it, you have it. You are either a worker or a boss. I need you to comment your name, because when you're commenting from the Facebook group, it doesn't show your picture. It only shows your it just says Facebook user. It doesn't show your name. So I need to know who you are in the Facebook group, because I know you guys are chiming in from the Wealth Creation Playbook group. So 1 minute motivation, guys. I'm going to play you guys a 1 minute clip. Every morning, I start my day with motivation. Every single morning. Man, you guys are loving this question of the day. So I see a lot of created. Somebody said both, born. Man, I'm gonna let y'all know what I think, man. This is what I think, right? Somebody else from the Facebook group says both. Some people are born with entrepreneurial spirit and some are created. And that is Rhonda out of South Jersey. Okay, thank you for putting your name, Rhonda. So I know if you're if you're in a Facebook group watching the show, make sure you put your name if you're responding so that I can, I'll know who you are. And if your name gets drawn, I know who to go to bless you with your gift. So let's jump into some 1 minute motivation today, man, because it's about to go down. I'm gonna show you guys how I get my day started. And then we'll talk a little bit about my daily routine. I think that could help you guys as well with your hustle. So let's jump into this 1 minute motivation, and y'all let me know what y'all think. Is my man Steve Harvey onto something, or is he talking out the side of his neck like we used to say here in St. Louis back in the day? Let's check it out.
If you are sitting in this room and you have extraordinary aspirations, then you're gonna have to do extra. You have to decide if you are willing to do the things to put you in that category. Rich people don't sleep 8 hours a day. That's a third of your life. It ain't but 24 hours in a day. You cannot be sleep 8 hours a day. You can't live in LA and wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's 11 o'clock on the East Coast. The stock market been open 2 hours. They already making decisions about your life, and your ass was asleep. The Bible says, he who loves to sleep and the folding of hands, poverty will set upon you like a thief in the night. Start putting some pressure on. Put some pressure on yourself. Get out here and get about it. Look, I'd love to sugarcoat this thing for you. I'd love to tell you, look, you can go out here and get rich, do a couple of things. That ain't happening. You got to get real doggish. You got to get downright funky if you want to make it.
Yo, man, if that don't get you fired up as a hustler, then I've got to check your hustle card, man. Listen, what do you guys think about that, man? Is Steve Harvey onto something? Let's talk about that real quick before we get into our 10 things that you never ever say to the entrepreneur in your life, man. I know loving an entrepreneur is not easy, but a couple things that stood out to me in that particular clip. And anybody else like me, wake up in the morning, and this is one of the first things you do. What I do in the morning is I usually up before I get out of bed for about 20 minutes, and I'm laying flat on my back, and I'm just thankful, man. I'm just giving thanks. I'm giving praise to God. I'm thanking him for my wife, my family. I just give thanks, man. And then when I roll out of bed, first thing I do is I come in here into my office, and I have an app that I run that goes out and sends friend requests out to specific people that I'm trying to connect with, right? So while that app is running, then I go downstairs and I get my workout on. And as I'm working out, man, my workout is normally 45 minutes, and I split what I listen to into two categories. Half the time I'm listening to motivation, like what you guys just heard. The other half, I'm listening to a tactical training that's going to help me with a specific thing that I'm trying to get good at, right? So this morning I'm listening to my man Ping Jun teach me about platform closing. How do you sell on different platform stages through live streams like this and all that kind of stuff? So, and then when I come back from my workout, I got another app that I run that actually goes out and engages with people on my Facebook timeline before I make my first post, right? So it goes out and it just says, what's up to y'all? Some of you guys saw that this morning. I said, top of the morning to you, or good morning, or I commented on something that you did this morning. Why? Because if you think that you're just going to post on these social media platforms and disappear and you're going to get some love, no, you got to be on the platforms engaging in order for you to get some love and people to engage with your stuff. So that thing runs while I go get myself cleaned up, brush my teeth, all that kind of stuff, get dressed. That's about 30 minutes. So I'm engaging with people for 30 minutes every morning. And then I make my first post of the morning, which is usually some sort of quote card or meme or motivational quote. And now that gets seen by more and more people. So that clip, guys, if you go to YouTube channel, Future Proof, that's the name of the channel, Future Proof, right? Future Proof is the name of the channel. And if you guys need, if you guys want some of these apps that I'm using, all you got to do is reach out to your boy, and I'll put you up on game, man, for free this time. But that name of that clip is Future Proof. A couple things that they said, that Steve said in that clip. He said, that's a third of your life. And the first time I seen that clip and I heard him say that, I'm like, dang. If a third of my life goes to sleep, and then another third of a third goes to bodily functions, right? I've got to eat, so that takes time. I've got to be in the bathroom. I've got to be in showers and all that. So when we typically don't think about that kind of stuff, right? And now I'm like, dang. So now that leaves me with about 12 hours. If I take all of that stuff, right? What are you doing with your time? Is a question. He said, man, listen, if you in California or somewhere on the West Coast and you sleeping to 8 o'clock, well, shoot, man, it's already 10 o'clock on the East Coast. Stock market been open for 2 hours, 3 hours, right? Man, that is crazy. And then in true Steve Harvey fashion, he went biblical on us. One of my favorite scriptures, little rest, little folding of the hands, right? That's all it takes. And I think in that scripture is talking about, if you do that consistently, if it's in you to always nap, if it's in you to always find time to sleep, you'll make that a habit. And before long, poverty is going to sneak up on your butt, man. It's going to sneak up on your butt. I did a show a couple years ago called Sleep is Overrated, but Rest is Critical. Sleep is overrated, but rest is critical. Some of us are getting rest and sleep confused. Some of us think we need 8 hours of sleep. Well, what's really taking place is those 8 hours, you're probably taking about 90 minutes to really get into your deep sleep where you're resting, right? And then you're finished resting, but you're still asleep, kind of laying around and doing some things for another 90 minutes before you actually get up and start doing your thing. Well, if you look at that scenario, really, you only needed 5 hours of rest. You only needed 5 hours of rest. So the key becomes, how do you get into rest mode sooner? So what that means for me is, I don't have to, if I go to sleep at 11 p.m., at 11:07, I'm resting. At 11:07, I'm resting. And I rest from 11:07 to about 4:30. And after that, I'm up, man, and it's on and popping. So glad you guys love that segment. 1 minute motivation. We're going to stick with that every single morning. If you guys are rocking with your boy, then just know that you're going to be able to get you some motivation every single morning, right? So the way our sponsorship works is, you could sponsor the whole show. You could sponsor 1 minute motivation. You got a product or service that you think would be a good fit for this show and the audience that I'm speaking to, which is mostly entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, network marketers, people who aspire to be entrepreneurs. You can sponsor a segment. We've got 2 segments right now, 1 minute motivation And we also have question of the day, right? The YouTube channel that this particular clip is on is called Future Proof, all one word, FUTUREPROOF, futureproof.com. Matter of fact, let me grab the link and just bless y'all with it, man. That way, boom, everybody's getting some love. YouTube channel is getting some love. Y'all getting what y'all want. Y'all can go check that clip out every single day. Yeah, man, let me just do it like that. But I also want to say the name of the channel for my podcast listeners who aren't here to click on the link. If they go to Future Proof on YouTube.com, this is where I found that clip of the day. Now we're talking, guys. Remember, question of the day. I saw a lot of responses to the question of the day. The question of the day is, are entrepreneurs born or are they created? Now, if you want to be entered into the drawing, make sure you enter QOTD, question of the day, and then your answer so that we can pull all of those. And I know exactly who goes into the drawing for participating in the question of the day. So what I want to do now is go ahead and transition into loving entrepreneurs, man. How many of you guys are loving an entrepreneur, or are you the entrepreneur in the relationship and somebody is loving you? I found this article, man. It really blew me away. 10 things to never, ever, ever, ever say to the entrepreneurs you love, right? And when I say the entrepreneurs you love, this article is specifically talking about relationships in terms of loving relationships, your spouse, your mate, right? But I want you to also think about the entrepreneurs you love in other capacities. Your brother, your sister is an entrepreneur, your cousin, your aunt, your uncle, your children, your friends, your neighbors, your co-workers. I want you to really think about entrepreneurship on another level. If you're not an entrepreneur, please, 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 please understand this about entrepreneurship. It takes a tremendous amount of courage, to be an entrepreneur. And like my girl Erica Badu says, keep in mind, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my ish, right? It takes a lot of courage to be an entrepreneur. And sometimes non-entrepreneurs can say some very insensitive things about what we're trying to do and how we do it and all that kind of stuff. Just speak a little easy, if you will. So on the other side of this break, man, we're going to go into the 10 things that you never, never, never want to say to an entrepreneur, but we're also going to give you some alternative things that you could say instead. So keep it locked right here.
Hey, good morning, Wealth Champions. Hey, listen, if you want to be financially successful, then you have to do what financially successful people do. And I know there's a few things that all wealthy people have in common. Number one, they understand that building wealth is a team sport. Number two, they understand the power of capitalism and business enterprise. Number three, they love to use systems and leverage. And number four, they all have mentors. My name is H. Cortez, also known as Financial Health Mentor. And for the last 5 years, I've been helping hardworking Americans get all of these things in place with one single membership. If you want to learn more about that, go to myperfectmoneyplan.com. Again, that's myperfectmoneyplan.com. And you're going to get a team of professionals, so you're not building wealth by yourself. You're going to get a system that's going to help you transform your finances And last but not least, you're going to get some great mentorship to help you execute your game plan. So again, go to myperfectmoneyplan.com and I'll see you on the other side.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cortez Hustle Show. And we are coming to you live and direct from the myperfectmoneyplan.com studios here in St. Louis, Missouri. Guys, building wealth is a team sport. I got one question for you. Who's in your starting lineup? Right. If you need some help in that area, we've got a great membership program for you. $80 a month covers you and your spouse, credit repair, tax strategies, debt elimination, and long-term investment strategies. All you got to do is go to myperfectmoneyplan.com or inbox your boy if you want to talk to me directly, and I'll help you out with that. Eliani said, my ex-friends used to say, I see you working on your little business. Oh man, that's one of the most insensitive things that you could say ever. So let me bring up this article. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and drop the link in the articles, because as you guys know, when we do these things that's based on these articles, I don't read the whole article, so you can go and read the whole article yourself. I'm going to read a couple captions, and then we're going to go to the list of 10 things that they break down for us. So I'm going to share this with you guys so we are all on the same page, man. So entrepreneurs are a unique blend of risk takers, mad scientists, hope addicts, inventors, and magicians. They can make incredible love partners if you know how to crack the code that unlocks their love and devotion. If you don't, they can seem like the most selfish, narcissistic, unavailable workaholics you've ever met. It can be an adventurous ride or life filled with excitement, being with an entrepreneur lover, or you can be on a ride of terror that you want to exit ASAP. Is she on the right track or what, guys? I forgot to give you the name of the writer on this. I love to give credit where credit is due. Let me just remove my branding real quick. Let me give you the name of the writer real quick. So this is Marla N. Mattinson, CEO and founder of Mattinson Coaching and Consulting. If you find yourself in a relationship with an entrepreneur, know that it can be challenging communicating your needs in such a way that gives you your desired outcome. Please heed the following very carefully. Often when we unknowingly say exactly what pushes our entrepreneur lover away, somehow our words come out in the form of pressure, judgment, blame, shame, and general neediness. Instead of bringing playfulness, seduction, humor, and kindness, we often demand that our needs be met, and that leads to a response that results in the opposite of our desire. How many of you guys have experienced any of this stuff so far? Is she on point? Kimberly says, I need that article. Stephen Russ says, very true. Yeah, man, this thing gets deep, man. But like I said, I put the link in there so you guys can read the article for yourself. I'm just going to go ahead and scroll down to the 10 things that you never say. Number one, never, ever, 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 ever say to the entrepreneur that you love, why are you working so doggone much? Never say this, right? Never say that. Instead, you say something else. It says, get used to it. Owning a business means that the bottom line rests with the owner. And that means if something goes awry, your sweetie is getting called in to handle it. Give an opinion on it, or at the very best, be informed about it. I mean, we are the business. So, that's what happens. So instead of saying, man, why are you working so doggone much? Say, hey, love, when will you be able to take your next break? Because I'd love to help you relax. Man, listen, let me come off screen share for a quick second. When I tell you that I am blessed to have the most supportive, the best partner that I could have ever dreamed of to help me build this empire, because that's exactly the kind of stuff that she said. Right? My sugar, some of y'all know her as Sugar. My sugar say, hey, babe, listen, I see that look in your eyes. And what that usually means is you need to walk away. Let me take your mind off of it for a second. And then you get back to it with a fresh set of eyes. You've been staring at that screen too long, and nothing's going to come if you just keep staring at it, right? Do you have the right folks in your life? Robert Johnson says, balance is key with all things. I agree. Men like the idea of working for myself. But once we got involved, it was an issue about my non-traditional work hours, not having weekends off, and working mainly with male clients. Woo! That's a whole nother thing right there. But I've also experienced that because I'm in the network marketing industry, and about 70% of my team are women. So I had to do what I needed to do to make my wife feel secure in me working around a bunch of women. Number 2, let's see. Never, ever, ever say, I had that idea like 10 years ago. Man, don't you tell me about the idea you had it 10 years ago, especially if you ain't do nothing with it. Is this you trying to relate to how amazing your partner's business is and its potential? Or are you trying to toot your own horn? Or maybe you're trying to fit in and say you have the entrepreneurial spirit too, with unrealized ideas floating around inside. Listen, instead, say this. I'm so impressed that you can implement on an ideal while taking on the risk and the stress of it all with grace and ease. Listen, guys, remember, this is not only about being in a love relationship with an entrepreneur. Some of us have children who are entrepreneurs. Some of us have parents who are entrepreneurs. Some of us have friends who are entrepreneurs. The way the entrepreneur's mind is wired is completely different from somebody who is not an entrepreneur. We literally speak 2 different languages. And if you love somebody that's an entrepreneur, whether that is your spouse, your mate, your life partner, or whatever, or it's your friend, your child, your sister, brother, cousin, nephew, aunt, uncle, whoever, just remember there's 2 different things going on, and be careful with how you communicate. Miguel, tuning in from New Orleans, Louisiana. It's really hard to balance when you still have a 9 to 5. Good point there, Janelle from Integrity Wealth Solutions. So an easy win here is to give praise for your partner's business and risk-taking abilities, which is like a superpower to actually take action on ideas. Man, y'all have no idea, man, how much courage it takes. If you're not an entrepreneur, you never launched anything, you don't understand the pressure that comes with being an entrepreneur, the courage that it takes to put something out that's going to be critically judged and could very easily fall flat on your face, right? Number 3, never say, in this economy, aren't customers hard to find? Listen, man, listen, the lifeblood of any business, we all know, is customers. And when you're saying, in this economy, aren't customers hard to find? You're speaking truth, but the last thing I want to hear is somebody telling me how much harder it's going to be for me to find customers. Because if I can't find customers, that means I can't survive in business. So don't be telling me, hey, man, isn't it hard to find customers in this economy? Right? If you are a Debbie Downer in any way, shape, or form, you will lose the attention of your entrepreneur partner forever. Listen, man, we can't surround ourselves with people who are not going to help us reach our goals, or at the very least, support us in our goals. No entrepreneur worth their weight in salt wants to be around anybody who is negative in their thought process. I don't need you to bring that around me, man. No, not today. Not today. Instead, you can say something like this. Is there any way I can help support you in bringing in more clients, customers, or business? Please let me know if and how you'd like me to spread the word about your business, sweetheart. I love what you're doing and want others to experience it too. Don't be talking about, oh man, COVID out here. Well, ain't nobody gonna be buying your products now. What you gonna do, honey? Say, hey, listen, I know COVID is causing a lot of people to pull back. Where can we find the customers that are still financially stable enough to still support the business and buy products from us? Don't be talking about, no doggone, is it hard for you to find customers because of COVID? No, I don't need that. We both know that to be true. I need your help in finding the customers, right? What does this do? It reminds your love that there are always successful people in any economy. Why not him? Why not her? When you believe in your partner, it's like giving him the wind beneath his wings. Yes, Bette Midler, shout out. Listen, man, listen. You want, if you're in love with an entrepreneur, especially if you're married, there's nothing like the support of a spouse. I mean, I couldn't have said it better. She took the words right out of my mouth. My superpower and being able to get up every morning and do this show comes from the support I get from my wife, man. There's nothing like that. So you guys got to be careful about how you deal with the entrepreneurs in your life, especially if you're in a marriage relationship, long-term relationship with an entrepreneur. We need that support, y'all. We absolutely live for it. Sometimes we don't say it. We don't necessarily ask for it. But man, that attaboy I get from my sugar, it just fires me up, right? Number 4, never say you care more about your business than you do about me. It's not to say that you can't say when you're feeling neglected, right? I've had this conversation with my wife as well. There's been months on end where Jill Scott has a song that says, I'm lonely whenever you're around. Let me talk to my entrepreneurs for a minute. Balance is the key. If you have to put in your schedule on your calendar, block it out, unavailable, no meetings can be scheduled. You talk to your assistants or whatever, right? And you make time for your spouse. Jill Scott's song says, she's talking about her mate. I'm lonely whenever you're around. And it can't be like that, right? Can't be like that. But nevertheless, there's It's not always what you say, but more importantly, how you say it. You care more about your business than you do about me. Because remember, we speak two different languages. So what you're saying is, I need some attention. I need some love. Don't forget about me over here. What I'm hearing is, you ain't never believed in me in the first place. Right? Another way this comes out is by saying, you never spend enough time with me. You can think these thoughts, but never say them out loud. Let them be momentary thoughts that pass through you like clouds passing in the sky. Right? So what should you say instead? I know you guys, I know you mates who are non-entrepreneurs are saying, okay, Cortez, I get it. But what do I say when I need my needs met? You say, I know how important the business is and how much time and attention it needs. And it would really mean a lot to me if you could set aside some quality time for us to connect soon. Now, I'm going to tell you how my wife says it. I'm going to tell you how my sugar says it, because she has come to understand some of what this woman is saying. I have come to understand some of the negative impacts of my business and our marriage relationship. When she starts talking about unplugging all of my devices, when she starts talking about knocking my laptop on the floor, when she zones out when I tell her about a new idea, right? When I go in and say, hey babe, man, I just got this new tool and it's crushing it. I mean, it's gonna do so much for the business, and her eyes glaze over. Yeah, man, it's time. It's time, right? And I'm blessed enough to have a sugar who says, hey, I'm gonna pull back and I'm gonna let you do your thing 4, 6, 8 weeks. Go hard, babe. But after those 4, 6, 8 weeks, I'm gonna need you to give me a weekend. And I don't want to hear nothing about the financial health mentor. I don't want to hear nothing about your team. I don't want to hear nothing about no technology. We need a weekend, right? We need the weekend. At least Santiago says, we'd love to talk on this subject, man. It's a powerful thing, man. It's something that has to be understood so much. Number five, right? Never, ever say, we can't afford it, or we can afford it. You make plenty of money, right? I want to show you guys. I want to put the article on the screen too, because I believe fully in the law of reciprocity, right? And I want to show this article from entrepreneur.com because it's a great article. But also I understand in marketing, as I'm showing you guys what I'm reading, you guys see their ads are popping up, right? And maybe you guys need to see that ad. I don't know. That's why I like to show the stuff on screen, because I want to give credit where credit is due. Never say, we can afford it. You make plenty of money. Okay. First, put the spoiled brat away. The odds are that you probably can afford whatever it is, but that really isn't the point. Being entitled and flippant with your entrepreneur's checkbook is a surefire way to leave a bad taste in your partner's mouth and make the person not want to give to you. In fact, it could push your generous entrepreneur lover in the opposite direction. What should you say instead? This is something that is really important to me, and I would be very grateful if you agreed that we can purchase it or make this investment or whatever the case is. Because sometimes we just need to know that it's important to you. It's like, go ahead, babe, do your thing. right? And one of our trainings that we do when my wife and I teach together, we talk about how to support your go-getter, right? And one of the ways as a go-getter to solicit the support of the non-go-getter in the household is to share the spoils. If your business raking in cake and it only benefits you, it ain't gonna be long before your sugar is out of the dough. Let's run through these really quickly because I gotta get to my response to the question of the day. And if you have not already put your response in, question of the day is, are entrepreneurs born or are they created? Question of the day, are entrepreneurs born or are they created? And when you answer the question of the day, I need you to put QOTD. And that lets me know you're answering the question of the day. And you guys are going to be entered into a drawing to win some cool prizes, right? Question of the day, are entrepreneurs born or are they created? And I'm going to give my response after we run through these last few. All right, so number 6, never say, are you stressed all the time? Why can't you just relax? My wife used to say that. She used to say that. And then she started saying, you just don't know how to relax. Listen, man, what's the difference? What's the difference there? Man, just relax, chill out. And hey, babe, you just don't know how to relax. What she has done is come to realize the difference in our makeup. You are 100% correct, sugar. I don't know how to relax. I don't. I'm not made up that way. I'm thinking about the 24 hours that I have today. And I'm trying to fill every minute of it with productivity that's adding another brick to this empire that I'm building for us. Right? So instead of saying, why are you stressed all the time? Why can't you just relax? I would love to help you relax. Would you prefer that I rub your face and shoulders or your legs and feet? I would love to help you relax. Can I get you a drink? Right? I don't drink alcohol, but if my wife wanted to help me relax and she went in and fired up the Omega juicer and ran a stalk of celery through that mug and a little piece of ginger and a couple apples, man, that's how I want to relax. Right? Can I go and juice you something, babe? Right. You got to understand that we speak 2 different languages. How do we best communicate, right? Number 7, never say, how much more are you going to invest in this doggone business? How much more are you going to invest in this business? Stop it right now. This is probably one of the worst things you could ever say to your entrepreneur lover. If this is coming up for you, being romantically involved with an entrepreneur may be something you need to rethink. The short answer is whatever it takes. Most entrepreneurs are so dedicated to their business, they are willing to invest over and over until the business flies or it drowns. Instead, you could say something like this. Can you please help me see how investing more and this best move for the business, for you and for us? Hey, just real quick, listen, I understand as an entrepreneur, this is your baby and you trying to make it work. Just help me understand how making this investment is the best move, right? And then this is where me as an entrepreneur have to put my sales cap on, and I have to sell my wife on why this is the best move and how it's going to benefit her, not just me, not just the business. Remember, man, your wife want to know what's in it for her too. Your husband want to know what's in it for me too. How is this going to benefit me? Right? Number 8, can't you live without your phone for an hour? I get about 6 strong weeks where my sugar tolerates this. Because some of you guys know that I do a lot of business on Facebook. So when I'm on Facebook, I'm normally checking notifications, I'm checking messages, I'm seeing who's posting what posts or work so I can model after some of some of my best marketers that I follow. About 6 weeks. It's like, man, I'm gonna throw that phone in the garbage disposal. Let's watch a movie. Turn your phone off. Right? And I don't think that's too much to ask. It's not what you say, how you say it. Right? You know that in today's connected world, that being unavailable at critical times could be a death sentence to a contract, a client, or potentially the entire business. How could you say it, or what should you say? I understand that your work requires you to be available via phone, and I really appreciate it when you make an effort to keep your phone use to a minimum when we are spending our private time together. This is what my wife is saying when she says, I'm gonna throw that phone in the garbage disposal. She's saying, this is our private time. And you set this time aside for us. So let it be for us, right? Let's see how much time we got left. Oh, we got 10 minutes. All right, so these last 2. Number 9, never say, when can we take a vacation? When you ask that question, it puts an unintentional and unnecessary pressure on your entrepreneur lover. Keep in mind that your partner probably doesn't want a vacation. No, it sounds crazy, right? When we do what we love, we don't need a vacation from our work. And some entrepreneurs feel they can't take a vacation because they are working so hard to keep the business afloat. What should you say instead? Instead, say this. Can we look at the calendar for the best time to take a vacation? I love to brainstorm with you on some ideas for fun-filled adventures, right? Let's look at the calendar. When is the slow season? When will you not be in demand? When can we steal away 2 or 3 days? Let's book it. Let's block it out before somebody else jumps on your calendar. Let's brainstorm on a couple fun things that we could do. Kimberly said, I thought it was just me. No vacay needed. Love my work. No, it's not just you. It's not just you. Number 10, never say, don't most businesses fail within the first 5 years? That's divorce talk. I ain't even gonna lie. I am not even gonna lie. That right there is divorce talk. What are you really worried about here? Whatever it is, keep it to yourself. Are you wondering if your partner really has what it takes to make the business work over time? It is natural to have fears and doubts do arise. And how can you shift your thought of fear and negativity into something that inspires and encourages, right? This is what you could say instead. I believe in you and I know that you can accomplish anything you put your mind to. How can I support you right now? How can I support you right now? Even if your partner can't answer how she needs help, how he needs support, Just knowing that you're asking makes him or her feel supported. And that is like depositing money in your relationship bank, people. Listen. Get the article, because as you see, the article links to other articles that could help you better understand how to communicate with the entrepreneur that you love. And again, marital relationships, loving relationships in that regard is one thing, but also know how to communicate with your entrepreneurs in your life, from your friends, your family members, things of that nature. Be cautious and not insensitive with what you say about the business. It takes a lot of courage to be an entrepreneur. And if you can't do anything else, you can just say that, hey, man, I see you doing your thing, man. I know the type of courage that it takes to be an entrepreneur. Proud of you. And keep it pushing. Let's take a look at what you guys said about the question of the day. Now is the time to get my response. Question of the day. Are entrepreneurs born or are they created? Miguel says, I was born an entrepreneur. I think depending on the person. Kimberly says created. Let's see. Who else? Let's see, the QOTDs. Where are they? Joseph McKee, Learn and Earn Academy says, I think they are born. Created. Eliani says, I was created as an entrepreneur. Let's see, who else do we have? I think some of you guys at the beginning also said, let's see. Janelle says, both you have to have the drive to get you there that allows you to want to be taught. Louise says, created. So we've got a good mix of born and created. Facebook user in the group, Letitia Stewart says, born. All right. So Alexander Network says created. Let's see, both mostly inherited. Facebook user out of South Jersey says created. Girly Alberto says created. Awesome. Israel says born. All right, listen, guys. Here are my thoughts on the question of the day. Entrepreneurs, my friend, are born. Hear me out on this. What is an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur, and again, the question of the day is, are entrepreneurs born or are they created? My friend, entrepreneurs are born. What is an entrepreneur at its core? An entrepreneur is someone who gets paid to solve problems. At its core, an entrepreneur is someone who gets paid to solve problems. Guys, we come into this world solving problems for a particular payout. Every one of us was born an entrepreneur, someone who gets paid to solve problems. When you came into this world, you had a problem with transportation. You solved that problem by crawling, then learning how to walk, then learning how to run, then learning how to ride a bike. And what was the payout? It was getting where you wanted to be in an independent fashion, right? And then you say, well, Cortez, entrepreneurs are people who get paid to solve problems for other people. Guess what? You were born doing that too. You were born doing that too, solving problems for other people. Because in our DNA, we were created to be interdependent beings. And usually, even as kids, we solve problems for other people. The payout just usually isn't cash, right? The payout is usually status. The payout is usually friendship, relationship. The payout is usually something non-monetary, but we solve problems for other people. We've been doing it all our lives. The problem we run into is called school system. And our school system runs the entrepreneur right out of us. School system runs the entrepreneur right out of us, right? Because where did the school system get its funding? School gets its funding from government and big corporations. Where do government and big corporations get their money from? Government gets its money from taxing employees. Big corporation gets its money from leveraging the labor of employees. So if that's what I get my money from, and I'm funding your institution, what am I going to tell you to create for me? Employees. Funniest thing ever, man. Funniest thing to me ever is our school system will tell us how risky it is to start a business, while at the same time teaching us how to ask an entrepreneur for a job. They say entrepreneurship is risky, but here's how you fill out an application. Entrepreneurship is risky, but here's how you conduct yourself on an interview. Entrepreneurship is risky. You might want to stay away from it and just play it safe. But here's how you complete your resume and polish it up and make it look good. So out of one side of your mouth, you're telling me the risks of entrepreneurship. And out of the other side of your mouth, you're teaching me how to ask an entrepreneur for a job. And you're telling me that's what's called playing it safe. Think about it. Entrepreneurship is risky, meaning a business could crumble at any time. You want me to play it safe, go ask an entrepreneur for a job and stake my whole life's being on this risk that you just told me about called entrepreneurship, because this whole business could crumble even while I'm working for it. Come on, man, what's the deal? So in my humble opinion, people, I believe that entrepreneurs are born because entrepreneurs are people who get paid for solving problems. And I believe we all are born problem solvers. We are all born to be interdependent, meaning we have to depend on one another. So I use my problem solving skills to help you solve your problem so that we can create a relationship. So the payout for me was I got a new friend by helping that person solve their problem. It wasn't money, but the principles are still the same. Hey, I helped 10 people solve a problem, and the payout was status, because now they look to me as someone who is an authority. Payout wasn't money, but the principles were still there. So I believe everybody is born an entrepreneur. I believe our school system runs entrepreneurship out of most people. I believe that the reason a lot of our young people get kicked out of schools or don't do well in school is because of the natural communication barrier between someone who is still holding on to their entrepreneurial thought process and someone who has long since let theirs go, and there's a natural clash, and that creates problems in the classroom and that kind of stuff, man. But hey, this is just one man and his opinion. So I appreciate all of you guys